Good morning. It's a beautiful summer morning. Kind of cool actually here, 58 degrees starting off. But we'll be getting into some sun and stuff later on. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. Going to get on the voting thing again. You know, talking about mail-in voting and whatever, and how our president is against it, even though he does it. This is the biggest hypocritical point that I keep on running across, and it's just like the motivation for him to open his mouth about that has really nothing to do with intelligence. I'll say it that way. It's to rile it up. It's to try changing things around and whatnot. But realistically, I'll say the intelligence thing because it really is just a stupid statement. We don't have the technology to ferry people into a voting locale. We may have the ability to count. We can do things electronically to a degree, but you want to have, the ability to make sure that it's a fair election and without the fraud and all that. And so the electronic voting booths, some states don't like it. Logistics. I say it all the time. It's logistics. And all the moving parts and stuff like that. There are so many people in Florida, and you can't get them all into a voting booth. Someone was smart enough long ago to do what a lot of people in the West do, and that is vote by mail. Why? Because it's easier. You're taking a proportion of the people and having them vote ahead of time. And so then they're counted. That's all it is. That's what it all comes down to. You're not able to come in on such and such date between 8 and 8 to vote. Okay, well, we'll make it easier on you. Here's a ballot. Send it in. You get, I don't care if you get 10, 20, 30, 50%, doesn't matter. At least you've got that portion of the people done. Those that can't come in at all, housebound for whatever reason, or are abroad, they get counted. Okay? That's what it's all about. The fraud that he speaks of it's in his own mind, but it's been put there by somebody else. He doesn't have an awareness of how it all works out. And if someone has explained to him, I guarantee you, he wouldn't be able to relay it back that well. Not in just the simple terms that I just did. And that's the reason why you have it. Now, as far as fraud goes, that isn't even where the fraud would technically, quote unquote, be. The fraud itself would be in the ability to receive it or in the ability to count it. And that's where every time he opens his mouth, it's such a slap in the face of the American public, and a very big, hard, cold shot to those that work election. offices. They work their ass off for the integrity of an election. Okay? And just like that last one, where you had Trump. Granted, it was Giuliani, but it was Trump. You had them target some workers simply based off of a video and put a narrative so toxic, so very mean-spirited behind it, that was total false. And the only reason why they did that was because they sit on a high throne thinking that they can't be touched. They don't give a shit about the American person. They don't give a shit about the general public. And if you work for an election office, they definitely don't give a shit about you. They're not backing you. They're not supporting you. They're not even praising you for the good job you've done. They're doing directly opposite. We've never had a party or a president that has ever spoke that ill of actual American workers. And that's what they are. Their line of work is to ensure a healthy, accurate, honest election every single time. Mind you, there's a lot of people that don't know that you get 2-3 elections in a year everywhere. It's not just every 2 years or 4 years. And someone's got to do them. Those are the people that do them. So when I hear the bad-mouthing of the electoral offices from anybody, I know that it came from on high. It came from one source. And that one source has the most unfounded, most toxic reasoning and ideology backing his claim. And on a personal note, this is not just another reason why I would never vote for the guy. Because I know the backstabbing and I know the bullshit games that his little corporate mind plays. And that's exactly what he's doing. But that's my personal opinion. But on the surface and in reality, in the real world, our election offices are intact. Our ability to put on a free and fair election is still top notch. Will you have little things here and there? You bet. It happens with that many moving parts. Are there going to be people that are going to try to steal ballots or something? Yeah, you do. But in the grand scheme of things, let's be real about this. Okay? In the event of a hotly contested race, to go back and recount those elections is what you're going to end up doing. And you're going to find that whatever number that you may think are fraud, by all account, that is the very label of them, you're going to find out that it didn't matter. It did not play in the grand scheme of the numbers that would have changed the outcome. Okay? It just doesn't happen that big. It's not that systemic. So there's my 10 minutes giving praise to election offices. We didn't have a problem with them until we had a problem candidate who figured out that the best marketing scheme to turn around and get votes was to target the actual system of voting. And if that is an anti-American, I don't know what is. Okay? Got to remember that people that are manipulating and using Trump's little megaphone and his blog, his social blog and all that, the people that are behind the scenes talking in his ear are the ones that are manipulating all this. They're the ones pushing for all this. Okay? I've said it before. This is the party that ran a campaign the best that money, corporate-minded, and corporate money can buy. Picking out demographics around the nation and going, what do we need to do to get 1% more on the vote in this area, or that area, or in this county, or in that town? And then they funneled their money and targeted it all in that little area towards that. Just to sway. If they can get 1%, 2%, 3%, they can get 10% more, but that's good. It didn't matter. They could say that they're for whatever the subject or matter or whatever the topic is. They could say that they're for or against or whatever. They may not even believe it themselves. But that's exactly how they did it. And that's exactly what they're doing when they say that the election offices are wrong or that mail-in balloting is wrong. It's a total fabrication designed to get a vote. Please, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. What they're saying is that your local area is corrupt. You can question things. Go and question shit. Everyone has that ability. This is America, land of the free. Still, we can question. You can call your local office. If you've got that time to do it, do it. But don't go out of the gate thinking that your local government is that corrupt. Don't go out of the gate thinking that your school board or that your actual court system is that corrupt, unless you have some claims to back it up with. Do not go against your election offices and say that they are that corrupt or broken unless you have some evidence to back it up. Okay? And as we know, the Republican Party, or I'm not even going to say the Republican Party, MAGA, and Trump had no evidence of significant nature to back up their claims. They had none, because there wasn't any. In 60 different cases or something like that, we have a system built that if there's a problem in an election, you can appeal it. And they used it. And they failed to overturn it. Because they didn't have it. Just because they didn't like something or the outcome doesn't mean that it was fraud. Final thought. Remember, we had a president that sat there at midnight on an election night, and numbers were kind of in his favor, and then they started turning the other way. And he said at midnight, why can't we just stop the election right here and stop counting ballots? The guy lives and breathes in the 40s, 50s, 30s. I don't know where that mindset comes from. But he obviously doesn't get it. Grandpa doesn't understand it and needs to have the keys taken away from him. But that's a whole nother subject. So there's my 15 minutes explaining once again this. I got nothing but love for you. I wish the beautiful summer. I pray for this fall because I feel that it's going to get really ugly. It's going to get really, really ugly because we have the people in power and the people just so power hungry that they're willing to beg, borrow, and steal to stay there. Literally. So, got nothing but love for you. Have a great day.